News that senior Trump campaign advisors were in constant communication with Russia sparked a strong response from Republican Senator Lindsey Graham this morning, who raised the possibility, really pushed for a select committee to investigate. Listen.
Now here's the question. If there's contacts between the Trump campaign and Russian intelligence officials outside the norm, that's not only big league bad, that's a game changer, and I would change my view as to what Congress should do. If there are contacts between Trump officials and Russian intelligence operatives during the campaign, we need a joint select committee in Congress to get to the bottom of it and also look at Trump's business ties to Russia, if it is true. But I can tell you this, the Congress is not fake. There are real members of Congress up here, Republicans and Democrats, who love our country and going to make sure that checks and balances that have been in place for 200 years work, even when the president's in your own party.
All right, here to discuss with us now, Republican Congressman Ron DeSantis. He is a member of the House Oversight and Foreign Affairs Committees, as well as the Freedom Caucus. He joins us from a loud Capitol Hill this morning. Thank you so much for being with us. I hope you heard Senator Lindsey Graham there raising the possibility of a joint select committee in Congress to investigate these Russian connections between the Trump campaign. What's your take on that? Do you agree with the senator?
Well, I think what we need to do is let's get the actual transcript from Mike Flynn's communication with the Russian ambassador. And I'd also like to get the 302 if the FBI did interview him, so we can see what the truth is and what's just simply innuendo. A select committee is used when there's overlapping jurisdiction. So we did it in Benghazi because you had 4 different committees investigating it. They were cross purposes with one another. I think this matter falls squarely within the intelligence committees. It should be very easy to get this transcript and to get some of the information from the FBI to see what did Flynn discuss, did he do anything wrong, and then obviously how did he communicate that to the White House.
So what would you have to see then, Congressman, in that transcript that would tell you, okay, a select committee is needed? Because as you noted in the Benghazi investigation, you called for a select committee, you called for special counsel to investigate Hillary Clinton's emails. What do you want to see in that transcript that tells you that's needed?
Well, in Benghazi, remember, 4 dead bodies. We had Susan Rice go out on the Sunday shows and concoct a false story. We were not getting any information from the administration. It was in the middle of a campaign. So you clearly had a terrorist attack there, and then you had the stonewalling. Some of the stuff about the Russian contacts, I read the New York Times article, and they said that there's no evidence that there was coordination. So it kind of undercut the splashy headline a little bit. So the select committee,
Congressman, just with all due respect, you don't have answers from the administration today. I mean, they're not even responding to Jim Shooter's reporting. They're calling it fake news, and they're saying the leaks are really the issue here.
And one more point, Congressman. You know, as recently as January 15th, we had Mike Pence, who was Vice President-elect, saying there were no conversations. Yesterday, we had Sean Spicer denying that there were conversations, but that doesn't appear to be the case. So the story from the White House doesn't appear to be based on reality.
Well, I think we would get, if you get the transcript from Flynn's conversations, you can see what they discuss. On the one hand, discussing the sanctions, although I'm opposed to relieving sanctions on Russia, I want to increase sanctions. If they discussed it, to me, I don't think that's actually a criminal offense because they're an incoming administration. They can kind of say, hey, here's where we're looking to go. So if that's what they discussed, and then Flynn wasn't honest with people in the White House, that obviously is going to be an issue. How then the White House handled it, I know that supposedly the DOJ went and reported that there could be an issue. I'm not sure how that checks out either. They may have done some investigation, but I think those are a lot of questions that the White House will answer. Remember, when we tried to investigate things with Obama's White House, we wanted to investigate the Iran deal and Ben Rhodes' role. We didn't get anybody because they're going to claim executive privilege. So I think we have to focus on the agency action. Let's focus on what the FBI knows. Well, let's focus on what the Intel committees knows.
Just, and I don't want to hog the time here, but just on executive privilege, this happened before he was president, so it isn't at all there's any executive privilege at all.
No, but you're saying once Flynn reported it and then the vice president was told something else, they were already in office then as an administration. So there's a question in the press about, okay, well, why did they wait a couple days? What were they investigating? I don't know the answer to that, but I think it would be hard for Congress to be able to get that, whereas we can get the transcript from Flynn's communications. We can potentially get the FBI, and we should get, and Chairman Nunes in the House is working to get, the information about who's leaking all this stuff, because you really have a concerted effort to undermine the sitting president. That is not the appropriate role of the intelligence committees, to act as political actors and to do selective leaking.
Right. So on that point, Nunes is calling for an investigation into the leaking, but not into the Russia connections here. I wonder if you're in agreement with Senator Rand Paul, who came out yesterday and said, I don't think it's useful to do investigation after investigation, particularly of your own party. He went on to say you're not going to get anything done, like Obamacare, et cetera. Do you agree that, regardless of party, do you agree that that is a good frame of mind that is helpful to the American people, to say maybe it's not the best thing to investigate our own party?
No, our job is to investigate facts, and when there are legitimate issues like Flynn's conversations, we should get the truth for the American people. That's our job. At the same time, you know, a lot of my Democratic colleagues, they were out there reading, Nancy Pelosi was reading fake tweets from Mike Flynn, supposedly. I mean, they're very upset about the election. They're throwing everything against the wall, seeing what'll stick. So we shouldn't necessarily get caught up in that milieu either. But yes, we have a responsibility to get the facts. Let's get that transcript and see what actually transpired.
If you don't get the transcript, Congressman, what's your next step?
Well, I think you're going to have Chairman Nunes investigating in the House, and I support his efforts. And then the Senate Intel Committee is investigating broader than just the leaks, and I think they're well positioned to do it. We've done things on the committee in the past, but anytime we get into the classified communications, we basically hit a brick wall, and it gets referred to the Intel Committee.
Congressman, we appreciate you joining us this morning. Thank you very much.